All right, everyone, I guess we're getting ready to get started here for our monthly budget review. Lonnie, you want to kind of give us a brief summary?
Okay, on the front page, of course, is the summary of all the information at the back. You'll see at this point in October, the end of October, we should be at 83.29% of budget. And looking down through there, you can see our revenues are exceeding, for the general fund, are exceeding the budget at this point, about 2%, a little over 2%. Going down the expense side, you can see about everybody's either close or under those percentages. And so the general fund is at 85 on the revenue, 85.78, and expenses average of 79.28, with an excess there of 248. 414.58. Then the other items down through there, the street fund, C, lot fee, which is the fire and police state mandated retirement, general fund capital, and those that are in the red is we haven't made the transfers over yet into those accounts. And anyway. You can look on down through there. Then down the water and sewer, you see that we're actually in pretty good shape on water and sewer for a change, and have been for most of this year, I believe. But at any rate, the revenue is at 110.49% of budget, and that's taking out, of course, the I&I restricted funds. And then the expenses are at 66.01%. And so we've got an excess there on the budget of $394,543.40 of revenue over expenses. And of course, transit has been doing well all year. And you can see those percentages as well. And for all funds, our revenues are at 92.13%, and all expenses are at 74.96%. So, all in all, I think it's a pretty good report for this point in the year. Yes, sir.
On the I&I, is that aggregate collections for this year, or is that's what we have left, less what we pulled out?
On I&I?
Yes.
This is just what we've collected this year.
Okay. It doesn't reflect what's already collected or what no expenses out of that or anything, because it doesn't show any here. Actually,
no, there hasn't been. Very, very small expenses, because those funds are highly restricted to infrastructure and improvement, and we probably will have some expenses.
We have some reflected in next year's budget.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so far, and when that was passed by council, it was very, very tightly written where none of that money could be used for operations.
Right. Well, I just making sure that we all understood that it was this year's collections, and there's more than that in those accounts.
That's correct. There's no rollover in this report.
Right.
Is that the same with the net plus in the water sewer?
That's the same as the net plus and water sewer. There's no rollover from previous years.
So we just leave a safe cushion and be prudent with those funds.
Well, remember, we still have a bond issue that has to come out and be paid and so forth.
True.
Our 2008 bond issue is a water sewer bond issue. And one of the things that we had in the past, Mr. Meyer, was that there are certain bond covenants that we're supposed to be meeting, and for a while there we were not meeting those, and so that was one of the issues that prompted the water sewer rates back the last time.
Right, the 120% that we're supposed to be doing, that's state law, I believe.
About 120% of net revenue, yes, and then there's a couple other things as well.
Uh-huh.
Yes, sir.
On our bottom line there, we're showing that for the year, we have an overage of almost $2 million in net.
Right.
You know, and we've never had anything like that. You know, maybe 800, maybe tops. A couple of years ago or 3 years ago, we
Well, if we had that much.
yeah, I think 4 is more like what we. So what do you attribute that to? I mean, I don't get it. We're not doing that much more than we did.
If you'll remember when our sales tax revenues are up really good this year, the water and sewer department has come along really well, and the expenses, they've held the expenses really good there, and you can just see by department that it's taken, I think, an effort on everybody's part to hold the expenses down as much as possible, and our revenue has been good, and so you know, this is the distribution between, you know, all the funds.
It shows we had a conservative budget for the year, isn't it?
Right. So, you know, I feel, quite honestly, pretty good about it, and so, at any rate, that's...
Even pulling out, you know, roughly 400,000 for transit, that's still $1.6 million.
That's right. But I think it's just a number of things, Mr. McClung, that have happened this year. I think you see the department heads really watching their expenses. Our revenues have been better than I had expected, quite frankly, and we haven't had any, like down at the sewer plant or in the water department, we haven't had any major breakdowns that I'm aware of that we've had in the past, and so it's just I think a combination of a number of things.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, Lonnie. When it says professional services other, and all of them seem to have that coding, what is that for?
Well, a lot of it is for our IT services that we contract out. We're not large enough to justify having
an
IT,
in-house.
and we have a fairly complicated IT system with all the departments and what they can do, and the payroll and the server in, like down right outside of my office, and then they can come in and everything, and those we can't justify having a person on board to take care of all of that, and so we contract that out. That's a big part of it. And of course the company that we contract with, they have offices across the state. They're headquartered in Little Rock, and they have Jonesboro, Texarkana, Lowell, and that's the office that they can be here within, you know, an hour if we need someone on site. Fort Smith, and so they pretty well cover the state. and they're all Microsoft certified, licensed, or whatever they call that, and so that's a big part of it, right there.
Understood. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Lonnie,
Yes.
what's the status with your staff?
Actually, I am, again, I'm fully staffed, of course, but we have newer people that still have the skills, but they need additional training to get everything right up to snuff. And I have really, and what I've tried to do is not fill the positions with people that are going to be here for 6 months or a year or something like that. Now, I've had some turnover, as you probably know. But the people that I have right this minute, I'm looking at them probably being here, 20 years or something. And so,
Is there someone there that's going to fill your shoes, or is that
actually,
another position?
no, there's not someone on staff yet. We've had a couple of people that have, of course, we've been advertising, and I've had a number of interviews. And we had one person that I had hoped would work out okay, that actually came and worked part-time for a short period of time. That didn't work out like I had hoped it would, but nevertheless, I interviewed a gentleman last Friday that I think is going to be really the perfect fit. And he's coming this coming Friday to interview with the mayor. And so if that works out, he'll be coming on board probably around the first of the year. And he has the knowledge, but he has never worked in municipal finance before. So I will be here for a while and training.
Sure.
Training
6 months, year,
whatever.
2.
But he's really qualified. He wants to be here. He wants to come here.
Good.
And so he currently is in Fayetteville. So there's not a huge move involved. He's from Sallisaw, Oklahoma originally, and and he's been in Eureka a lot visiting. And so it looks like a really.
And you can show him how to get here from there, can't you?
I can. So anyway, that's the status on my situation.
Okay. I know that you'd like to exit, and
I'm
it'll
old and
happen
tired.
one of these days.
I'm old and tired.
Yeah, it'll happen one day.
So,
Mayor,
Mr. Ott, you have a question?
yeah, I'm just curious, with some of these positions, is there anything that the municipal league could help us with, either finding candidates or getting the word out that we're looking for candidates?
We've always tried to include the municipal league when we try to look for candidates,
Okay.
especially in finance.
Okay.
Yeah.
the municipal league, of course, in the very back of their monthly publication, they have, and we've advertised there as
Okay.
well. And we've advertised on Indeed. I don't know if you're familiar with it or not, but
Yeah. And we've also advertised in the Oklahoma and Missouri equivalent of the municipal league that we have here in Arkansas. So we haven't confined it just to Arkansas.
Okay.
I had a telephone interview a couple of weeks ago with a lady from Wisconsin that sent in a resume. And,
Now's the time to bring her south.
so, well, she and her husband are somewhat familiar with your work experience, but But I think that we have a better candidate that's a lot closer.
Good. Any other questions?
But these people that I have, Mr. McClung, they're really good, solid people, and they just need some additional
Yeah,
training.
that's good. I mean, that's the thing is, you've had good people in the past, it's just been hard to hang on to them.
It's been hard to hang on to them. These people have moved here from Kansas and from Bella Vista and from Dallas and so forth, and they've won a big year. And as they put it, we're here for the long term.
Good, that's great. Good to hear.
So, what else can I answer for you? Or try to answer for you?
Well, Lonnie, appreciate you very much, and of course, I know you just put the numbers together, and
I'm just the bean counter, Mayor.
well, I think combination, in answer to Mr. McClung's question, I think with our revenue increase and our department heads keeping the budgets down, I think they've done an extraordinary job. And so,
I agree. I agree. wholeheartedly.
But, and I was thinking about this the other day too, so before the council gets all excited about seeing all this money, I was reflecting back about probably 9 or 10 years ago when
I want to raise.
when Morris was here and we had a big landslide across from Grotto Spring. And that was a $500,000 hit.
Yeah.
That almost wiped us out. That had to be repaired, had to be fixed. So we just never know when something might happen.
That was before me and before I came, but I've heard about it, and you're right, it had to be repaired, and it reflected heavily on the financial situation for several years, actually.
Yeah. Well, Lonnie, thank you very much.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Same to you. Y'all have a nice, well, I'm going to stay around for council.
All right, if there's nothing else, then go ahead and close the budget meeting and re-adjourn in about 30 minutes for a council meeting.
Right.
You got my daughter,
Oh, my goodness. So what have you been up to?
Ida. Too much.